quite wary in London because it's quite a violent city, and it's just a bit dangerous, really. Well, it depends who you're mixing with. But we have been known to crime here around this area, so it's quite. Parents are very worried when kids go out, but I don't think they should be that worried.
Well, it's hard. I think they should always have a voice, always. And I think, yeah, we're maybe what we're seeing with all this youth crime at the moment is the beginning of the intergenerational wars.
Different circumstances for different ages. An 11-year-old, the advice and the things you tell an 11-year-old are not the fears and it's not the fears and the stuff that you're worried about for a 15-year-old, say. Especially boys and girls are different issues as well. So it depends on the sex and the age, how you listen to them. 11-year-old, if he comes to you and he tells you, my friends are playing football around the corner, right now as a parent you're scared because anytime they're in a gang, the police are going to stop them, or some other boys are going to think it's a group, and a gang is anything between 2 to 4 people. That's what the police and the society call a gang.
Right.
When we were young, if you 10 kids playing on the community, people wouldn't call us a gang. Do you understand? So I think the vocabulary of or the definitions for these words that they're giving out have changed a lot, and maybe they need to define them.
Personally, I think there's no, children are different, aren't they? People grow up at different times. I had right on hippie parents who basically let me do whatever I wanted from the beginning. You know, I was loved a great deal and never smacked and all that sort of stuff. But I was given lots of freedom to go and make mistakes and help me mature quicker and learn.
It's hard to take as a parent, obviously, and with the crime and the stabbing, it's kind of different mistakes, because when we were young, that's not what you were scared of. Well, that's not what our parents would be scared of for us. They would be scared of you getting into drugs or you having sex too young. But now, just to let your kids out, you don't know who's going to be shooting, who's going to be stabbing, and to try and put that, because you want them to grow, but you also want them to understand where you're coming from.
Well, it reminds me of, there's a lady in the States who says that how far a society is progressing, her measure of progress is the popsicle index, which is, are you happy with your kid going by themselves to go and buy a fizzy drink? And you're saying that here, well, he isn't. I think that's a terrible state of affairs, but I don't think it's got much to do with the youth themselves. They haven't created the society of which they find themselves.
I think it's going to take a while, because these things didn't happen overnight. So in the same way that you want to kind of recover that, it's going to take a while. I just think it's maybe just trying to have lots more community activities like this, and actually publicising them, making people feel that they're welcome to come out.
Well, I think it's got to do with the breakdown of community more generally. It's not just youth, it's old people as well. I found out recently that an old people's home costs roughly £800 to £1,000 a week to stay in, which to me seems obscene. We've decided that everything should be individualised and happiness is through consumption. And any bit of research that's ever been done says that's just complete nonsense. And what we want is a sense of community and a sense of belonging. And
it has, in a sense, because walking down the street, we don't seem to look out for each other anymore. So if anything happens, you tend to ignore what is going on. Quite recently I saw two guys really hammering at each other, and everyone just either ignored it or walked, or just looked on. And nobody, I'm talking about, maybe back in the day, whenever that was, my parents' sort of era, when I was really little, people used to actually intervene, but now people are too scared to do that. And that sort of breakdown sort of permeates down the generations.
I think it's a bit of everything, really. A lot of people in London particularly don't even know their neighbours. So if you don't even know who you're living next door to or on the same street as, then I think it's really difficult to create a community spirit, because, I don't know today, but you know, you can go to a community event and not know who those people are, because you'll turn up with your friends and you'll leave with your friends. You might talk to a few nice people, but that's not really going to enhance your sense of safety if you're a parent in letting your children out.
Community centres have a big role, but I think the issue is really getting the message out there. I mean, I'm on, you know, sometimes there's some great stuff happening. This event, for example, and I didn't know it was there. I actually look over this area, and I didn't know it was there until I heard some noise and looked out my window. So it's actually trying to get that message over to people, and when the message is sort of there and understood, to actually sort of make it feel that's something that they will think is worthwhile as well. Right. So it's trying to sort of really target the things that people will be interested, want to come out, etc.
Well, I don't know how they advertise, but I suppose one of the things that you can do is put postcards in the newsagents' windows and things like that. People where people go, like fish and chip shops, and because I think we're quite reliant on the web at the moment as well, and not everybody knows where to look to find out about community events. There's church notice boards, there's like supermarket notice boards, places that people look.
Yeah, but there's not many events happening.